Hello, everyone, and welcome to another broadcast on Metropolitan Sports Radio. Today, we're going to talk mainly on the Mets and the past three-game series against Nationals and how they did. The Mets did surprisingly well. It was a really important series for the Nationals to win, and the Mets pulled off a sweep. I'll hand it over to my dad to talk more about that.
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, it was an amazing series. Going into the series, the Nationals were pretty hot. They'd won 5 straight games, and the Mets were holding on to a tenuous 4-game lead. And according to MLB's own Monte Carlo simulations, the Nationals still had a 15% chance of coming back to catch the Mets before the end of the season. I just looked up the latest Monte Carlo simulation, and that was before factoring in the Mets' victory over the Braves today. But even before that victory, the Nationals' chances have gone down to 2.4%. So, and I think if you look at the way that the Nationals also lost this series, losing the game in late innings in each of the 3 games, I think you have to say that hopefully the Mets have really kind of wrapped up the NL East after this series. What do you think, Jamie?
Just need to add something now. So, just in case you guys want to know, we have added we have added a new feature in so that you can call in through Skype. If you want, you can just add my my dad's account on Skype. It's SCM King, and if you want, you can just call in and we'll pick your phone call up, and we will answer whatever question you may have. So, back to the Mets now.
So 3-game series. Uh, the Mets won 8-5, 8-7, and 5-3. They were trailing in the first game in the 6th inning, 5-3, and they came back to win 8-5. They were trailing 7-1 in the 7th inning in the second game, and they came back to win 8-7. And in the third game, they were behind in the 8th inning, and they came back to win 5-3. So really demoralizing for the Nats.
And the Nats, right? They were up all along. The starting pitchers did really well, especially the second game when the Nats were up 7-1. The Mets came back to win it 8-7. Jordan Zimmerman was pitching a great game, and Matt Williams suddenly decided to take him out of the game. That is really, really interesting, and a really, really interesting move to make.
Well, let's talk about that, Jamie. I think we can think about what was Matt Williams' worst managerial mistake of many that he made over the 3 games. I actually think taking Jordan Zimmerman was not that bad because Jordan Zimmerman was already up to 100 pitches, and Daniel Murphy was coming up, and Daniel Murphy had a great history against batting against Jordan Zimmerman. And in fact, after getting taken out of the game, I can't remember who was it that replaced him on the national side, but he got the final out of the inning, so that was not the problem. The problem was the next inning. But I think to give Matt Williams some credit, I think in that game he didn't manage the bullpen that badly. I mean, I think his one fault, he finally brought in Drew Storen in the 7th, and people were clamoring saying that he played too much by the book and didn't bring in Drew Storen earlier because they don't have a reliable 7th-inning guy. And so they brought in Drew Storen, and he, of course, had a meltdown, giving up immediately a 3-run double to Cespedes and then walking 3 guys in a row. I think you can fault him, though, for not having someone to come in to pitch for Storen when it was clear that Storen just didn't have it. I mean, here's a guy who went through months without walking anyone, and suddenly he walks 3 guys in a row. So, I think you have to fault Matt Williams for not paying attention to what was going on in the field.
Again, I think that Matt Williams, his bullpen, okay. He's only trusting Drew Storen and Jonathan Papelbon in his bullpen. Those are like the only 2 guys he trusts once it comes to the end of the 7th, starting at the 8th inning. And then the other confusing thing is,
how about that call for Rendon to bunt?
Yeah, that was what I was gonna get into. the three, it was a 3-1 count, and also it was a 3-1 count, and Rendon's, the Nationals, one of the Nationals' best hitters, and you don't have your best hitter bunting 3-1. Also, and someone just sent in a question. So here's the question: What do you think that Matt Williams should have not taken in Juice Thorne to face Cespedes? And yes, you okay. So
I think that he definitely shouldn't have put Drew Storen to face Cespedes again in Game 3. Now, that was just stupid. After Storen, made so many pitches the previous game, melted down, and clearly couldn't figure out Cespedes, to take him out and put him in to take out a dominant Strasburg and to bring him in to face Cespedes again was just pure craziness. I don't know what he was thinking. Huh? What do you think, Jimmy?
I think that was a really terrible move. I mean, Cespedes is a down hitter. Storen's a down pitcher. So I think that in order for Drew Storen to be effective, he pitches down, and Cespedes, in order to be an effective hitter, he hits down. So, and especially after Game 2, again, why would you bring him in?
I listened to Matt Williams after the game, and he said, I brought in the righty to face the righty. But, Cespedes actually is harder. He's worse against left-handed pitchers, not right-handed pitchers. He's only batting .220 against lefties this year, and he's batting over .300 against righties. So, again, Matt Williams is just playing by the book, but not really looking at the specific circumstance as well. And in any case, Drew Storen is just, the guy mentally is just not there. And so, for those of you who didn't watch the game yesterday, Storen came in again to face Cespedes, and immediately Cespedes greeted him with a 2-run home run. Game over. So I think Matt Williams is toast after this series.
So, Brad Osmus, we just found out, is not gonna return to the Tigers after the season. Do you think Matt Williams is in a similar position to Brad Osmus? Because Brad Osmus's team is not that great. The Nationals are really a great team underachieving under the reins of Matt Williams. So, what do you think, Dad?
Well, I couldn't believe when Matt Williams won Manager of the Year last year. And I think when he got to the playoffs, and I think people will look at his decision to remove Jordan Zimmerman in the NLCS against the Giants, when Zimmerman was completely unhittable and only up to about 100 pitches again, he took him